Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm talking about eBay scams, and if like me you sell on eBay, then you may have been scammed without you even knowing it. They are the sale and return scams, and these scams are based around the item is not as described. I'm going to go through the mechanics of one of the scams that happened to me, what some of the telltale signs are, and how you can best protect yourself against the scammers. Now, I listed an item in the electronics section on eBay UK. The item was for a Panasonic DVD recorder hard drive system. Now, this system had been fully checked by me. A video was posted up on the eBay website of me using the video. It was clearly described as a PAL system. I received numerous messages on the item, and one in particular from one buyer asking lots of questions about it and the shipping to Italy. I explained all about the system, and there were lots of messages saying he needs this system, he can't get it in Italy, it's for him and his mother, and they're going to use it as the main family device, and can I offer a discount, what is the best price, and all along those lines. The buyer promptly purchased the item, and I packed it up safe and secure and sent it off to the global shipping in the UK for its onward journey to Italy. And this is where the telltale signs of the scam start to come to fruition. The item was delivered via the global shipping centre. I received a notification, and within 1 hour of that delivery, the buyer messaged me saying the item does not work, it will not work, it will not record, it will not play, and it's broken. Now, that is not beyond the realms of impossibility. That the buyer was waiting for the item to be delivered, immediately took it off the postal courier, set the item up, fully checked it, and then informed me. It is possible, however, it's not very probable. Now, I responded promptly with a nice message that says I'm very sorry to hear the item has arrived damaged. It was fully working and something must have happened in transit. If you would like to open a return case, and I will make sure that all the necessary mechanics are undertaken for that item to be returned to me. Upon its return, I will check the item, make sure it is the item that was delivered, and will process the refund via the eBay returns process. At this point, the buyer then came back with a message saying that he knows an engineer that can look at the item and will give me a full breakdown. The buyer then opened a cancellation request via eBay, not the return request that I had actually informed him and said that was needed to be done so that I could process the return and make sure that he gets his money back if the item is indeed faulty. Finally, the message came in saying that the engineer had identified the fault and it was going to cost €70 to fix the item. Now, this is where it becomes mathematical. The buyer had obviously had the item shipped via global shipping to Italy, and for me to attain the item back as the seller under UK law, I have to pay the return postage from Italy, and to get that package back from Italy, it was going to cost me €48. And this is key. I then informed the buyer that I would not process any refund outside of the eBay's return mechanism. The buyer then promptly sent me eBay messages back saying that his mother was ill, it was the family main recording device, and that I had left them out of pocket. After a few days, and the buyer realized that I was not prepared to process anything outside of an official eBay return case, the messages became slightly more aggressive, and the "I'm going to leave negative feedback" comment was used by the buyer. And it was a case of I am doing the wrong thing and I should refund the partial money so I can get it fixed. Now, this is key. Once the buyer becomes aggressive in tone or mentions the word "I am going to leave negative feedback," this is where you would report the buyer directly to eBay. So at this point you have two scenarios, and I will map out both of those two scenarios with two real life events that happened to me. I'll continue with the DVD HD recorder, and in this instance the buyer vanished. No more messages were received, no case of the return nature was opened, and obviously the scammer moved on to the next person. The other scenario was a Sega Saturn game that I sold and that was shipped to Portugal, and this one went to the full fruition of the buyer actually returning the item to me, so this is how I dealt with it. The buyer opened the return case and I had to send him the return postage. I promptly sent this to him via PayPal. However, I sent it as a business transaction via PayPal. Now, I had got my wife recording me on a mobile phone when I took delivery of the item from the postman. In this instance, eBay stepped in with all the evidence that I had presented towards them and decided that they would not make me refund the buyer, and they would refund the buyer themselves to keep the Switzerland neutrality stance, even though it cost eBay in the region of £170. Promptly open a case with PayPal against the buyer and the money that I had sent, saying the item I received was not as described and I wanted my money back. A quick summary: always use the return process inside eBay. Don't offer partial refunds to anyone requesting it if you are 100% confident that the item you shipped is as described. Always ask for evidence if that item has got damaged in the post, because that is a different scenario and you can claim for the damaged item. Always double check messages and always be concerned if people try to pull on emotions or if the tone of the emails or the messages start to become negative and aggressive. Well, hopefully this video has given you an insight into the item not as described return or partial refund scam, and it will make you aware of some of the tricks that they do and also prepare you for dealing with it. So thanks very much.